She may not be building love. She may be feeding insecurity. And that distinction can change everything. Because a lot of men confuse attention with affection, closeness with connection, and emotional demand with genuine love. At first, it can feel flattering. She wants your time, your replies, your reassurance, your focus. She checks if you saw her message, questions why you took too long, gets irritated when your energy shifts, needs constant compliments, needs to feel chosen again and again and again. And many men look at that and think, she really cares. She must love me. She's deeply invested. But here's where most men miss the truth. Constant attention is not always love. Sometimes it's insecurity looking for relief. Sometimes it's emotional hunger disguised as intimacy. Sometimes she doesn't want connection. She wants regulation. She wants you to constantly soothe what she has not learned to stabilize herself. And this is where men get trapped. Because when you become someone's emotional oxygen, you stop being a partner and start becoming maintenance. Now let's be clear, attention itself is not the problem. Everyone wants to feel valued. Everyone wants to feel seen. Healthy relationships require presence, but there's a major difference between healthy desire and validation addiction. Healthy desire says, I enjoy your attention. Validation addiction says, I need your attention or I feel unstable. And that difference changes the entire relationship dynamic. Because when attention becomes emotional survival, peace disappears. Now your delayed response becomes a threat. Your busy day becomes rejection. Your need for space becomes suspicion. Your independent life becomes a problem. And suddenly, you are no longer dating someone. You are managing someone's emotional withdrawal symptoms. This is where it gets worse. Many men will overcompensate here. They think, if I just reassure her more, she'll finally feel secure. If I just text more, compliment more, prove more, this will calm down. But usually, it doesn't. Because validation addiction works like any addiction. The more you feed it, the more tolerance builds. What worked yesterday stops working tomorrow. One compliment becomes 5. One call becomes constant access. One reassurance becomes emotional dependence. And now, you are not building trust. You are feeding a cycle where her insecurity creates demands, and your compliance teaches her that insecurity controls you. Most men fail here because they confuse solving with surrendering. They think love means endless proof. But real love is not endless proof. Real love is emotional stability, without constant testing. Because if someone constantly needs external validation to feel worthy, no amount you give will ever truly be enough. Why? Because the whole is internal, and external attention cannot permanently fill internal insecurity. Now pay attention. This doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it's subtle. She may constantly post for reactions, fish for jealousy, mention other men, create distance just to see if you chase, get upset when you're not instantly available, need public validation online, compare your effort to others, test whether she still has you. And if you don't recognize the pattern, you'll think you're fixing the relationship, when you're actually reinforcing instability. Most men miss this. A woman addicted to validation is often not asking, "Do you love me?" She's asking, "Am I enough?" And if she does not internally believe she's enough, your reassurance becomes temporary medicine, not a cure. That's why the cycle repeats. You reassure, she feels better. Doubt returns. She seeks more. You give more. She needs more. And eventually, you feel emotionally drained, while she still feels emotionally hungry. Because the real issue was never your lack of attention. It was her inability to self-validate. And here's the dangerous part. If you keep trying to save her by abandoning yourself, you slowly train yourself to believe love means exhaustion. that relationships require over-explaining, over-giving, over-proving. And once that becomes normal, you stop asking whether the connection is healthy and start asking how much more of yourself you need to sacrifice to keep it. That mindset destroys men quietly. Now, let's be fair. This does not mean she's evil. It does not mean she's manipulative. And it does not mean you should instantly leave. Sometimes this pattern comes from past neglect, past betrayal, abandonment, low self-worth. But understanding the cause does not mean sacrificing yourself to it, because empathy without boundaries becomes self-destruction. So what should a strong man do? First, stop rewarding emotional chaos. If attention is constantly demanded through guilt, drama, or pressure, do not teach her that instability earns access. Because whatever behavior gets rewarded, gets repeated. Second, stay consistent, not excessive. Consistency builds trust. Overcompensation builds dependency. Be present, be clear, be solid, but do not abandon your purpose, your peace, or your standards just to constantly prove loyalty. Third, watch how she handles boundaries. A woman who genuinely wants love may feel insecure sometimes, but she will gradually respect healthy reassurance. A woman addicted to validation often resists boundaries because boundaries interrupt supply. That difference matters. One wants connection, the other wants constant emotional feeding. Here's the harsh truth. If someone only feels secure when you are constantly proving yourself, they are not in love with peace. They are in love with reassurance. And if your role becomes permanent reassurance, you may eventually lose attraction, respect, and yourself. This is why confident men do something differently. They do not confuse attention with love. They understand that real connection should feel like peace, not performance. They know love should expand life, not consume it. And they refuse to become full-time caretakers for unmanaged insecurity. Because here's what emotionally healthy love looks like. She appreciates your attention, but does not require non-stop proof. She values your presence, but respects your space. She enjoys reassurance, but does not build her identity around it. That is connection, not addiction. And this is where she's actually testing, not always consciously, but psychologically. Will you become emotionally controlled by her need, or will you remain grounded enough to love her without losing yourself? Because the moment you abandon your center to constantly manage her insecurity, the relationship often shifts. She may get more attention, but less respect for you. Why? Because people rarely trust what they can fully control. And desperation, even when disguised as love, eventually feels weak. So remember this. You are not responsible for curing someone through constant validation. You are responsible for showing up with strength, clarity, and boundaries. Support her, care for her, love deeply, but never confuse love with emotional servitude. Because when she needs constant attention, the real question is not, how do I give her more? The real question is this building connection or feeding insecurity? Because one creates love, the other creates emotional dependency. And if you do not learn the difference, you may spend years trying to fill a void that was never yours to fill.